Hello, my name is Michael O'Keefe, aka The Movie Mist. If you enjoy this interview and want to hear more top-notch film industry conversations, please press the thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell to stay in the know. So, okay, let's do it. We're recording. Wow. All right. So I'll just hop into it. What do you say?
Yeah, sounds
Okay.
good to me.
Hello, Patricia Vidal Delgado. Before we talk about your movie Leyenda Negra, give us some insight for how you've been handling COVID-19 this year.
I have to say, I think I've been very lucky because I'm part of a Sundance Lab, which is the Film 2 Fellowship, which essentially helps directors once they've had a feature film, helps them on the journey to their second feature. So, you write your treatment and you submit, and then they pair you with creative advisors who help you on the journey. And I've had the luck to be paired with Anish Chaganti and with Jessica Goldberg, who have been fantastic. And I have to say, it's really helped me get through this because it's kept me busy and it's kept me on track.
Well, that's good. So you've been occupied, you maybe things are a little crazy, but you've got, focus and purpose.
And I think writing is one of the few things that, you can do during all of this. Yeah.
This is true. You're not wrong. So tell my audience why they will enjoy Leyenda Negra. How about you say the title? Because I'm butchering it.
It's okay. It's La Leyenda Negra.
Thank you. All right. Clearly, I don't speak Spanish. And tell my audience why they will enjoy this film.
I think that they will enjoy this film because the character of Aletheia is complex, and she's someone who's outspoken yet humble. She's lonely yet independent. She's tough yet heartbroken. And I think that when you learn of her plight and you allow yourself to go on that emotional journey with her, you can't help but empathize with the plight of all TPS eligible teens today in the United States.
Okay. So a mandatory question is why black and white? But that's sort of a boring question. But I want to package it with why black and white, and also what are some of your favorite movies that are black and white?
So I'll start with my favorite movies. Me and my editor, we definitely rewatched Gook.
Okay.
Which is a film that we loved, I think, for its energy and its dynamism. And I was actually lucky enough to meet with the DP of Gook, Antti Chang. And he said something which was very interesting, was that he loves imperfection in the image. And it's something that like excites him, and it gives like allowing a door open to chaos when you shoot. It actually captures an energy that you maybe wouldn't have if you wanted everything to be perfect. So that was something that, me and my DP, we took forward when we were shooting La Leyenda Negra. And then the reason to shoot in black and white is because, the themes of the film, such as, colonialism, persecution of the other, intolerance and indifference. And essentially the film asks the question, tradition or change. So me and my DP, we were kind of thinking about, cycles of history. And so we were thinking about that French idiom, which is plus ça change, c'est la même chose, which basically means like the more it changes, the more it is the same. And then we thought that black and white would be a fitting visual representation of the polarity of choices our lead character is forced to make as a potentially undocumented immigrant today in the US.
Cool. Okay. So tell me about the cast and what it was like working with them.
So they were all pretty much non-actors, apart from Juan Reynoso, who played the role of Aletheia's stepfather. And I had worked with non-actors before in my previous short films. And there's something that, what I really, really enjoyed about working with them is kind of the rawness, the intimacy they can give you, and the fact that they also bring something to the role because they are from that community. Because, they grew up in Compton, they grew up in South Central. some of the actors in the film are actually undocumented, and a lot of them have family members that have, precarious immigration statuses, so they could really like empathize and bring something to the role that maybe another actor could not. And I found them all at Compton High School because, I'm very good friends with Juan Reynoso, and he's the head of TV and media production there. And he was the one who told me that he has students in his class who are interested in acting. And so one day I went to meet with them, and the majority of them are Latino, and they go through what every other American teenager goes through. But then a lot of them also have those immigration statuses that are currently under attack.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a question that you could dodge. Many directors dodge this question, but did you have an MVP in your crew?
I have to say that I think my editor, Stephen Moyer, because I had worked with him several times before on my short films, and we'd kind of developed this working methodology, which is something that I like to do, and I find it really helps, especially if you're working with non-actors, is the most important thing is to get them to lose their fear of the camera and just the apparatus of cinema. And the way I would do that is when I rehearsed with them, I would shoot the rehearsals. And then I would edit them and I would show them to the actors. But then I would also show them to Stephen. And Stephen, so he could have, an input already, even before we shot the scene. And it also made his job a lot easier because we could send him the footage the day that we had shot it. And he could already put it together, having a very good idea of what it was that I had in mind.
Oh, that's interesting. Did you ever see the movie To Live and Die in L.A.?
No.
It's funny. It's a movie by William Friedkin, and he would just say, "We're gonna rehearse. We're gonna do a shot, but it's just a rehearsal," and then that would be the take.
That absolutely works for sure, because everyone kind of loses it's again that fear of perfection. Or striving too much for perfection, whereas otherwise it's just like, just do it, just feel the energy, feel the flow and the dynamism of the scene. Yeah,
that's interesting. So since this movie is going to be streaming on HBO Max, I gotta ask you, what's your favorite show on HBO, past or present?
I Will Destroy You, I think.
That's the name of a show?
Yes. Which I believe, is on HBO, I hope.
Okay. I thought you were saying that to me, like, I will destroy you for asking this question.
Because you asked this question.
Yeah.
No, I think, that's a show that I think has gotten a lot of press because the writer is also the lead actress.
Oh my God. That's a lot of work.
Yes, and she's fantastic, and it's really, and and it talks about I guess without giving too much away, it kind of talks about the vulnerability of women when they go out into bars, and like what and then the repercussions that happen when a night kind of you kind of black out and you don't know what happens on a night out.
I was thinking, sorry. Well,
so it just basically talks about I think a very like sticky issue, but in a way that is very authentic and very truthful. Okay.
My favorite show on HBO is The Wire, and I just thought this show was your movie was comparable to The Wire in that it's socio-political, but also an entertaining narrative. Do you like The Wire?
Yeah, no, absolutely, yes. I mean, for sure, and I think that that's something that always excites me because I'm a city girl, and the urban landscape, it's so rich in stories and in conflict and drama, which is not to say that maybe other places are too, but it's like I think that when you grow up in a city, like also that melting point of cultures is something that's always really attracted me.
Yeah, cool. That's cool. So okay, to get political a little bit, this movie looks at immigration under Donald Trump, and now that Trump is gone, What do you want to see Joe Biden do on this issue?
I think he's going to have a tough job because of the Supreme Court. Because unfortunately, especially the track record of the most recently appointed justice in terms of immigration is terrifying.
Yeah.
Really terrifying. And so I think it will help if the Democrats get a Senate majority. But there is a limit to how much immigration reform will really take place with the composition of the Supreme Court as it currently stands.
Okay. But let's say he gets the Senate, and or like in an ideal scenario, what should he push for?
I would say that, most recently the death knell has been rung for TPS, because as it currently stands, TPS will terminate for El Salvador next year.
Okay. Tell my audience what TPS is.
So it's the temporary protected status that essentially allowed people from El Salvador to work and live in the United States.
Okay.
And it's something that happened, especially, it's with the earthquakes in El Salvador. A lot of immigrants came to the United States, but also in terms of the crime in El Salvador, and the matters and all of that, like how badly that has affected civilian life in the country. And essentially with the end of TPS, that means that El Salvadorians here who had that status will be vulnerable to deportation.
Okay. Goddamn. I don't know. There's a little viral video that Ice Cube made about keeping the pressure on Biden. And speaking of, great Compton artist, and he always encourages people on the left to don't be afraid to pressure Biden, because it's like, we need you need something big in the first 100 days. You need some sort of mandate. So it's one thing to get rid of like an odious figure like Donald Trump, but let's keep the pressure on. Let's keep it moving. Anyways, what made you want to be a filmmaker, and what is it? And tell me what it means to create for you.
So I went to art school. And in my undergrad, but film was always something that really, it kind of captured my creative dreams. It evoked a passion in me that I kind of came to a point where I had to decide if I wanted to pursue a career as a professional artist or if I wanted to get into film. It was essentially kind of a choice between drama or art. And the thing is that film combines the two. So it kind of just combined my two passions, and it really felt like the path that I wanted to pursue in terms of my creative expression.
Cool. And do you get some sort of what do you get when you create a short film or a feature film? Is there is it like a high? Is there an endorphin? Do you feel like it's like a spiritual thing, or is it a fun thing? What do you get out of it?
I think that it's that feeling of accomplishment when you've had a really good day on set, where the entire crew has just done such a good job of working together to create a perfect moment on set, which is rare and it's unexpected, but you've essentially all managed to capture lightning in a bottle.
Cool.
And that does gives you a high, and it makes you feel that you've managed to create magic essentially by virtue of collaborating with these creative people who are all so very talented in their own right.
All right. That's cool. So you made the successful transition from short filmmaker to feature filmmaker. And I'm wondering, what constructive criticism do you have or suggestions for creators of shorts to create quality products to make that transition that you made?
I think that I think definitely the big difference that I noticed, like going from a short film to going to a feature film, is that all your HODs and really above the line too you have to be able to trust them to get their job done, because the difference is with a short film that if there's some slip up in terms of production design or even costume or makeup or something, it's like sometimes as a director you can kind of maneuver to kind of pick up the slack, if you see what I mean. And that's the thing with the feature, and especially, I mean, let's face it, if you're making the transition from shorts to features, you might not have that much money at your disposal, and less money means less time, and so you have less of an ability as a director to pick up that slack.
Interesting.
So your HODs really have to be on it.
That's very interesting. Well, Patricia, thank you very much for your time. Do you have any final words on your movie that you would like to share before I let you go?
A lot of people ask about the title.
Yeah.
So La Leyenda Negra, it essentially refers to the demonization of Spanish conquistadores by Protestant settlers, and it reflects a historical bias. And the character of Eletaia, she challenges all bias in her fight for truth, and that's reflected in her involvement in the Compton Black Bloc, which is an underground political organization. And so La Leyenda Negra it refers to imperialism, colonialism, but also, if you consider the English translation, is a nod to Eletaia's involvement in anarchist circles.
Very cool. All right. Well, for people who have HBO Max, or it's going to be on, is it going to be elsewhere available to watch?
So it's HBO Latino.
Okay.
That's where it'll premiere, and then it'll be HBO Max and also HBO On Demand.
Very cool. And maybe hopefully Crave TV. Is that going to happen too?
I'm not too sure. We'd have to speak to our sales agent.
All right. Well, never mind. Forget about it. But anyways, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Michael.